Call this meeting to order. Let the record show all council members are present except for Jacobson. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Got one addition to the agenda. Will be number 4 of the new business and a discussion on emerald ash borer. I've been invited Jared Wells here to talk to us a little bit about it. Do we have anything else that we need to put on there?
Nope.
Your motion to approve?
No.
Second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carried. In your packet are the minutes of the prior meeting of October 6, 2024. Are there any additional corrections or comments regarding those minutes?
It's an extra 0 on this one spot on the second page. Bottom, extra 0 there. Do the new business.
State regulation have to have that many decimals.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah. If there are none but them, stands approved as printed. We'll move on to the claims, and there's a sheet with a few other. And when I got the packet, I said, I don't know if I've ever seen claims that small before.
Yeah. They're taking forever to come in the mail, so they're all over.
Sure. That's a good thing we do it at every meeting. Any questions, comments? Not, is there a motion to approve?
No.
Second?
Second.
Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Got anything for notices and communications?
No.
Okay, anything under pending?
Under electric utility, we are going to be having an in-person PUC hearing on the 10th of December at 5 p.m. The auditorium. That is Wednesday. It will be streamed from Christensen Broadcasting, but there will be no interactive stream. It'll just be view only.
Mhm.
And then a virtual interactive hearing either the 1st or 2nd of December. The PUC has yet to decide a date there. So this isn't unusual or a surprise. It's just part of the process of our filing, and we want to make sure that everyone gets to say their piece that wants to. So.
And they run this meeting?
They do, yep. The ALJ comes down and everything, and PUC staff, and yep.
Okay.
So what our legal team said is myself and usually not a quorum of the body that's in question. So 1 or 2 of you, on stage for the in-person one, and then for the virtual one, our contingent would be here, meaning that we have this new stuff, and then the ALJ would obviously be up in St. Paul and lawyers in their offices and stuff like that. Excel also participates as well in both.
Okay, get that on our calendars.
And then under letter E, the water, wastewater. So they had a first draft for us, and Weston and I have seen that. It looked good. We had some follow-up questions, and then specifically about the piece about Lincoln Pipestone rural water being an option. And then I had kind of thrown out there the fact that Red Rock was already in the area, and initially that was not an option. And I just said, can we put that in the report? That's not an option, and kind of the evidence as to why. And well, our engineering team asked a few more follow-up questions to their fellow engineers that were working on the Red Rock project in Lake Avoca and the lakes, and that may not necessarily be the case in terms of it being an option. So the quality of water is not as high as Lincoln Pipestone rural water in regards to sweetness specifically, but I'd like to just have every option on the table in that report with. So
sure.
You're figuring that out right now.
Okay. Any questions on that? Anything else under pending there?
No.
And we'll move on to, we have no unfinished and new business. And we have some information about the library basement.
This will be the first of the quotes and estimates and sometimes even full-fledged bids for our $403,000 Minnesota Department of Education facilities grant that we got to renovate the senior center / library building. So this one is to redo the basement. So it's from Groundworks out of the cities there in Grove Heights. They what they're doing business as Innovative Basement Solutions or something.
Mhm.
So they stopped by a while ago, actually, even before we got the grant, and proposed this because in our, if you may remember, our facilities kind of discussions and stuff, we had talked about the state of affairs of the basement and it being very wet, and it's been wet for quite some time. So this back page kind of explains the scope of work the best in this diagram. So looking at adding 2 sump pumps and then basically adding a, what do they call that? A beaver tail system kind of along the around the inside, and then sealing all those walls to get the water out of the basement and seal everything up. So we'd hope to approve this. It's anything $25,000 or below. We can choose at our discretion who we want to do the work. 25 to 175. We get 2 quotes. You don't have to take the lowest quote if there's a compelling reason to, and everything over 175 is full-fledged bid. Because fortunately this state grant, even though it's federal money, is following for the grant state procurement policy and not federal procurement policy, which makes you basically get quotes and bids on everything and that. So that's a big positive in my opinion. So I would recommend this quote and scope of work.
Yeah.
Just one question, Josh. Where does this fall in line with the estimate that we had for this tournament project that we first began? You know, you had
So this is actually less. So the estimate of 36.
Hopefully sealing those walls will keep the
Very
gist,
confident.
keep the gist away.
Yeah. I mean, there's gonna be plenty of work in there.
Mhm.
Read them coming, we've got a loss.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they will want to, they require everything to be on there basically.
Yeah, and honestly, that's something that isn't gonna be fun and is easy to just
Yeah.
push aside.
To not do.
Really, probably not.
And is the stuff that's in there our city stuff or our library or what is
There's
You know, city.
some rent stuff, machines, bulkies, equipment. There is an area in the back part where the old boxing ring used to be, where there are cinder blocks and wood, and there are files. And I don't know if we need to mess with those or not.
I don't think any of those
They're
files
hard.
are in the permanent keep type of retention schedule, because I believe when I first got here, we moved all those up and into the PD.
Yes.
So those can probably go, but as they get brought up, obviously.
Yeah, well,
We have to check on
yeah,
that.
100%. They're just, they'll be a little.
Which will be great.
Have something to do.
Wear my N95 that day.
Hope for a windy, but not too windy day.
Right.
It's just, this doesn't really like smell bad or it's just.
Yeah. Yeah, when you come down that stairs, though, that.
Right, I'm sorry, who, the person that does all the testing for like
Right.
Ryan, Harry, and if I'm correct, I don't want to misspeak. But I
Oh, for
don't
the
think
environmental.
They found anything that was like,
dangerous?
no.
I would move that we had approved this.
Is there a second? Second. Any further discussion? Not all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carried. That takes us to our last item is little information talk here about emerald ash borer. I've invited Jared here to tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, a couple handouts. Kind of a speech type thing prepared. They don't necessarily, well, just some imagery and what happens and all. Um, and this one is a kind of a guide of what to do and what to expect citywide. These are not by it's a that's my distributor for all my solutions stuff I use. They're extremely helpful if you got any questions about how to plan any of this. If they have any group within their company that's they use. Or specifically you guys understand.
No, I don't have the camera for that. It's just wherever you watch it, it's fine.
All right. So I will say I prepared this before I knew that there was actually emerald ash borer in the city already. So some of it doesn't make sense towards the end, but thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. My name is Gary Welch, and I'm the owner of Southern Minnesota Tree Armor, a company based out of Tracy that specializes in treating trees to protect them from emerald ash borer. I'm here to talk about emerald ash borer and how it affects communities around us. Emerald ash borer is a small metallic green beetle. It's native to Asia and was first discovered back in 2002. And since then, it has spread to more than 30 states across North America. It's responsible for the deaths of hundreds of millions of ash trees. Here in Minnesota, we have one of the largest ash tree populations in the country. And unfortunately, all of our native ash species are at risk, including green, white, black, and Manchurian. To understand why it's such a great threat, it helps to know how it works. The adult beetles lay their eggs on the bark of the ash tree. When those eggs hatch, the larvae turn or tunnel into the tree's vascular system, the part that moves water and nutrients through the tree. Inside, they carve windy tunnels that slowly strangle the tree from the inside out. What makes emerald ash borer extremely challenging to manage is the damage starts long before we can see it. For the first year or two, infestations are almost invisible. And by the time we start seeing thinning canopies, bark splitting, or more woodpecker activity, the infestations are well underway. And while the beetles can fly, they spread faster through human activity, especially when infested firewood or logs are moved from place to place. That's why new outbreaks often pop up miles from known infestations. Um, Now let's talk about what happens when we lose mature ash trees. These trees are far more than just the community's scenery. They're part of the community's infrastructure. A single mature ash tree can intercept over 2,000 gallons of stormwater per year, remove up to 600 pounds of carbon dioxide annually, and provide the cooling effect of 10 air conditioners running 20 hours a day. When we lose a mature ash tree, we don't just lose shade, we lose decades of environmental service, property value, and community identity. And while planting new trees are important, it takes years, sometimes decades, for the young trees to match the impact of the ones that replaced. The good news is there is effective and research-based solutions. Tree injections using emamectin benzoate have a 99.6% success rate in protecting healthy ash trees. Each treatment lasts for 2 years, and when treated consistently, these injections can protect selected trees for decades. This isn't about saving every ash tree, it's more about making informed, responsible decisions. Many communities focus on identifying high value trees that are worth protecting and planning removals gradually over time and avoiding the sudden large scale cost that comes when infestations go unchecked. Tonight I'm here to provide guidance and practical solutions. Slayton has a unique opportunity to take a proactive approach to one that protects valuable trees uses resources efficiently, and provides the character, preserves character for communities for years to come. Thank you for your time. I'd be happy to answer any question and provide any additional resources to help Slayton. Yeah. Any questions? I'm open to anything.
There's a cost and.
Yeah, so that varies from tree to tree. It's all based on diameter. You're looking in a range from $100 to $300 for your biggest trees. Once we get tree diameters that are over 40, it does spike up a little bit because we have to remove the solution. Instead of 5 milliliters per inch, we go to 10. And that's just to make sure that the whole tree canopy is protected. The price doesn't double, but it does increase a little bit from there. And I do offer a price discount over so many trees. So to get over 10 trees treated, we 15% or something like that.
Jerry McCord was in today and he said he counted 2 years ago and there was 550 ash trees in the golf course alone. What's that discount?
Yeah.
So the solution and all that, factors into that. But I mean, over time, it's still going to be that same percent just because it takes time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot of ash trees.
Yes.
But,
We have a ungodly amount of ash trees.
yeah, I know. I think 3 weeks ago we came down here, my wife and I, and we handed out some flyers. And yeah, there's a lot of ash trees around here. Especially at the high school and stuff. It's all ash trees.
What I've been told is when Dutch Elm went through, everybody got rid of those and said, let's do ash.
Yeah, it's fast growing. Yeah.
And they hold up to the wind and the weather.
Right. We started our inventory this week. City.
I wouldn't
We'll have
look.
an idea of how many, on part of the list I gave them, we can go more in depth as we go, just kind of trying to get a count. As far as size goes, we can kind of redefine, right? Yeah, I could definitely, just off the top of my head, think of a couple areas. And in that memorial park, to the pool or treat versus.
Yeah, I tried to track down that cloud point data. And it's where it's completed. It's really good, but it's not completed here.
Right. You get some.
Yeah.
So what if it does the treatment plan change, whether if it's here versus not here yet?
No. So actually, nothing finds away is the 30% canopy. So that means it would have to be infested for well over 2 years before we cannot treat it anymore. So I mean, even if it's in Slayton, the solution would be more than slow down is
Yeah, it's a retreatment every 2 years.
every 2 years. Yeah.
Is there any way to diagnose the trees before you really see symptoms, or?
So I heard of some like bug traps and stuff that they've used. I don't know how effective those are because obviously the traps don't beetle.
Right.
Right. But I mean, going around and just looking for V-shaped holes in trees is really going to be your best bet. But then again, to get so many V-shaped holes, it's going to be well infested at that point. So it's kind of hard to do that as better than fact. Yeah, to save it.
Cost of diagnosing is probably way more than
We have 3 very large ash trees in our yard, and Brian just cut off, he was trimming the one there and cut off a pretty sizable branch about this big and pulled back the bark, and we are definitely in the category of these little zigzags.
So it's kind of confusing because there is a native ash borer native to the U.S. and trees can get the native ash borer. If I had a couple in my yard die from that, and the only difference is the native our ash trees do have resistance to the natives in the U.S. here, but the damage on the inside looks identical. It's just the exit holes instead of a D, it's a circle.
Oh,
That's the only
so
difference.
that's what we should look for.
Yeah, so if you look through there and if you see any the D-shaped holes are pretty defined. Like it's not, it's a D-shaped hole. The circle ones are they're just round. So
Good to know.
yeah.
The native doesn't spread, the native doesn't spread as fast.
I got a tree out at the farm that 50 years ago, it looked like it was gonna die from native ash borer. It's one of the few that's still.
Oh, really?
That, either not taken by a tornado or something like that. So.
Okay. Well,
And I do have a bunch of case studies that Eagle Science has done in
Mhm.
different towns that they've come in and helped make plans and stuff. I can send that to you on email if you want. And it just goes through different city budgets and how many percent of the ash tree they decide to save and what they decide to remove, their effectiveness, how effective.
Yeah, it essentially comes down into finding whether you're comfortable compromise, I imagine, on it.
Yeah, for sure.
are you aware of any folks that do inventories around, like you?
I don't, think you have to be certified arborist to do inventories. I'm not one. I believe Tracy just got someone from to come do it because they had to do an inventory before they can apply for grants.
Mhm.
No, yeah.
So, and you pay an arborist to do the inventory, just. you
Some
mean the
of the
inventory just
grant,
to
like
count?
the pot of money that I'm applying for, there's two different. One is a $50,000 project. That's one replacement only. The other one is the relief program, which is you can apply for actually, because I asked this question, the training sessions. Do you have to have an inventory before you apply for the removal and replacement or pesticide treatment? Both of which are eligible grant activities. And they said, no, you can actually apply for, it's $500,000 project. So you can say, I want $100,000 for an inventory and $400,000 for treatment and removal.
Sure.
And the same grant. So, yeah, that's what a lot of communities think is that they need the inventory before, and it, of course, an inventory makes sense to know what you're getting yourself into, but it's not a necessity in a lot of these grant applications.
Yeah.
Okay. Pollinator effects with the.
Haven't seen any. They've been using this solution since 2006 up in the cities. They've had no effects from that. I know there was one question about is an animal being around trees.
Mhm.
The solution's injected in the tree, so it's localized within the tree. And I believe this is a caution label on the pesticide, so get in your eyes or you have slight irritation, you're not gonna go blind, get in your mouth, just rinse your mouth out. It doesn't mold in any way. And since it's localized in the tree, they haven't really had any issues with that.
What's the class of pesticide that I'm trying to think of that is pollinator unfriendly? It starts with a P, I feel like.
Like what they spray for the aphids.
Yeah.
What we use for mosquitoes.
It's not that.
No.
I'd like to do business card if you got one.
Yes, they have plenty of.
There's useful information. Like I said, isn't something we can make a decision on, or we don't even know.
Oh, right.
Also, nice to have a better understanding of what that process is.
So if a tree already has some action to it, does this kill what's in there?
Yes, it'll kill the larvae that's in it, and then the first year's solution is potent enough that it'll kill the adult beetles in the tree too. That what adult beetles are eating foliage. So they'll take care of the adults too. That's impressive, I think. Yeah. But the second year, it doesn't have enough strength to kill the adult, but it still has enough strength to kill all and prevent any more boring activity.
And you kind of mentioned before, starting to run after a certain amount of years of infestations. Too late.
Yeah, so I mean, anywhere over 30% canopy loss, I'm gonna suggest we don't even use it because it'd be. And then and it goes to say with like trees, if they're fighting for nutrition or anything like that, I recommend treating them just because they're not at the healthiest state.
Yeah.
What if you have some And then other trees have nothing yet, so that we're treating the trees with nothing nearby.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's coming and then it's probably actually already starting. Yep.
And I imagine too, the overall health and where that tree is growing is gonna manifest the damage more quickly or
Yeah.
slower.
Yeah.
And all of our employees in this fire is trees. And we- It's important things. Check that out.
I know it's all around. So
Mhm.
I'm very surprised we haven't had any cases. I know it's been confirmed it's been in Marshall, places like that. We're down walking through driving park last week and wife and I seen them.
Mhm. And I mean, yeah, the insects fly, but for it to make a big jump like that, it's probably a human vector.
Yeah, they're actually pretty lazy beetles.
Mhm.
They only fly at that. And they try to latch on to whatever they can. And then they stick around there till that tree dead.
Mhm. All right, we got any other questions on this? Otherwise,
Yeah, no problem.
okay, with no further business, is there a motion to adjourn?
Mhm.
Second? Okay. All in favor, would say aye.
Aye.
Aye, meeting adjourned 18:26. Thanks, everybody.